welcome to my presentation. My name is Justin and I hope you're all doing well. My project is for detecting sign language being shown in real time. So a little bit of background for American Sign Language. ASL is an option of communication for those who are deaf and hard of hearing. The National Center of Health Statistics estimates that about 28 million Americans have some degree of hearing loss, with about 2 million of those being classified as deaf. There is no exact census of how many people know or use ASL, but the rough estimate from the internet tells us that it is somewhere between 150,000 and 500,000 people, which is very minuscule compared to the fact that there are around 48 million people in the US. This is why it's important and crucial that we need to work to break that barrier of communication. So as for my data set, it has been taken from Kaggle, and those are what the pictures look like. And it's labeled from 0 to 25 with 9 and 25 being omitted. That's J and Z, because those are gesture-based alphabets. And this is a balanced set, which means it had roughly the same amount of occurrences per class. And first, I had to pre-process my data, and that was just cropping them and normalizing them so that it would turn to pixels between 0 to 1, 0 being black and 1 being white. And as for my network architecture, it has 3 convolutional layers that are all activated by the ReLU. And the 3 gem parts are called linear layers that apply linear transformation to the incoming data. And I've also included 2 maximal layers so that my input gets downsampled to reduce its dimensionality and allows for assumptions to be made about features contained in the subregions bin. And moving on, here are my parameters for the model. And the first criterion is a cross-entropy loss. And it's important to note that for most classical multi-class classification use case, you could use cross-entropy loss. And this combines log softmax and a negative log likelihood loss in one single class. And for the optimizer, I use the stochastic gradient descent with a learning rate of 0.01 and a momentum of 0.9. What momentum does is that it just helps accelerate the gradient vectors in the right direction, thus leading to a faster convergence. And for the scheduler, I use step LR with a step size being 10 and a gamma value of 0.1, and I use a total of 12 epochs. The results gave me 99.8% on the training accuracy and 96.9% on the validation accuracy. And to break down the validation accuracy a little bit more, here are per class, the accuracy, and we can see that T performed the least. And that's just because T has a lot of similar other hand gestures like Y. It just looks very similar. So sometimes it will like have a hard time being able to classify between those. And yeah, and as for the model, I got the model into an Onyx file and I put it into an OpenCV. So here's what it looks like. I just spelled out hello, and bottom there is just what hello is supposed to look like in ASL. And you can see that my model has captured it pretty well. And just for a quick live demo of the code, let me show it right here. I'm going to move out of the screen. And so here is L, and this should be V, and here's W. And yeah, that is the app. And this has been built with Python, PyTorch, and Onyx, and OpenCV. And for future steps, I would love to implement a model that could find gesture-based alphabets first. Then I can improve the model even more so they can understand full words. Then at that point, I can incorporate a way for this model to be able to iterate through a video and translate it. Then I want to be able to deploy it as an app that is more accessible to the public, maybe on your phone or maybe even on a computer. And that was all my presentation. Thank you guys so much.